The Fortress of Everhold. That's information we may need for something. I'm gonna have to beat him up so that I can rob his house. But first, let's rob him personally. Holy crap. Level 60 or higher to challenge. He is a 8. What the hell is he hiding in his house? Physical attack 50 and elemental attack 100. Definitely want those. I'll have to check the price. As I said before, there was a bonus to bartering, so maybe the price won't be too high. A lot of people in this place. Provoke like a pro. Which means I may be able to fight that guy. I may be able to fight that guy with Haunted, but I don't know that she'd be able to beat a level 8. Yeah, you're coming with us.
Hi, everybody!
Hey, Ragnar, how you doing? Guide with ease. Yeah, this is definitely a big town. Before, like, the Chapter 1 towns were all, like, one screen. And then some of the Chapter 2 towns were, like, 2 screens. This one's been 3 so far. No, I didn't. Did anything interesting get announced? I completely forgot about it. Lies of P, that sounds familiar. I think I may have seen that. I think I may have seen that before in like an indie showcase or something. Hey Nami, how you doing? He's a 6.
Let us fight with honor. Now then. Cursed witchery. The battle is truly joined. How about this? The battle is truly joined. Victory shall be mine. Watch my blade dance. Have at you. My blade is unbending. I wreak havoc upon thee.
Well, it's official. I need to put the passive skill on him to raise the damage cap. All right, Nami, have fun. Yeah, if it's the one I'm thinking of, is that the one where the main character looks like a plague doctor?
How about this? The battle is truly joined. How about this?
No?
How about you?
Must be a different one then.
Victory shall be mine. With each battle, I grow stronger.
Well, you know what? No reason not to. Let's see if there's a trailer up. So it's Lies of P, right? Okay, I am confusing it for something else, but I think I did see this because there's two. There's a trailer from 9 months ago. I'm pretty sure that's the one I saw, and then one from 12 hours ago.
Can you hear me? I hope this reaches you. This city is falling apart. Chaos, madness, death. And there might be no going back. But you can change that. It depends on the choice you make. Truth or lie.
I might be asking too much of you. But I don't have a choice. Only you can do this.
This basically has me thinking that it's Devil May Cry 5 Virgil back in Victorian times, since he's got the mechanical arm.
Finally, we meet, son. The stage is set.
The light shines brightest in the darkest of times.
All right, buddy, I'm here for you. Don't worry.
Confront your fate.
Don't give up.
Keep going.
You can lean on me if you want.
Protect.
Fulfill.
Oh, now I remember why I remember this one. It's Pinocchio.
Your destiny.
That's why I remember seeing this. This is the Pinocchio game. Like that guy that he meets where it's like, "You're my father," that's Geppetto. Yeah, I do remember hearing about that like 9 months ago. Yeah, it's the Pinocchio game. It's like super grimdark, violent Pinocchio. Yeah. Yeah, it looked interesting before, but obviously that was 9 months ago. Like, it was literally just a teaser, so I was waiting for more. But yeah, like, I don't know, when we saw the, like, I completely forgot about it, and then it clicked towards the end. It's like, that's right, Lies of P. It's the Pinocchio game. Okay, so Moonblade I already have. I've got 2 of them, actually. I don't even think they're my best weapons. But all the other stuff she has seems to be really good. Yeah, there's a couple of people in here with good stuff on them that is too low of a chance to steal. So since we unlocked the buff to bartering, let's get Tressa in here and see if they're at all at a point where we can buy them without going broke. They actually didn't show that much of the combat. A lot of what they were showing of gameplay was just him kind of walking around. The little bit they did show looked very defensive. Like, everything he was doing was like a parry or a counterattack. And I don't know if you get multiple weapons, but the actual weapon that he had in a couple of those parts looked really slow. So I'm hoping that's just one of many weapons. Oh no, I'm definitely not saying that as a negative, just basically trying to suss out what type of game it might be, because like, I mean, the Onimusha games were almost, I mean, you could kind of fight through them, but you were very much intended to parry and counterattack in the Onimusha games with the Issens. And I love the Onimusha games, but like that was their biggest thing, was you were supposed to parry and counterattack. Like it's important to know what you're getting into in a game more so than actually Like, I feel like knowing what type of game it's gonna be has more effect upon how much you enjoy it than if you go into it thinking that you're gonna be playing something that you're not. I almost have enough to buy both of these. But let's go check out that other one first. Because there was one that I had a 0% chance of stealing. Yeah, and if it is meant to be a Souls game, it's kind of understandable if the combat is a little slower than you would expect from like a pure action game. 75,000. Am I reading that right? Because that doesn't sound like a good thing. Attack occasionally increases target's physical attack. Because technically the target is the one that you're hitting. Why would you want to increase the physical attack of the target you're hitting? So I hope that's just worded badly. Okay, so this says fetches an exorbitant price if sold, but it costs 28,000. But I am going to save and okay, yeah, there's a hidden item behind this guy. But he's the one that I can't fight with Ulrich, because Ulrich needs to be level 60. Yeah, I'm gonna save and see how much I can sell that thing for, to see if I'll actually make a profit or not. And we can also try fighting that guy with Hanet, but I don't think she's strong enough to be able to fight a level 8.
Hello. Hello.
Nope, it only sells for 15,000. We lost 13,000 in that deal. Is it? I can turn it down a little bit if it is. How's that?
Standest thou against me? Then be hunted. What next? Letting the hunt beginning. This will happen. Coming, if thou darest. Letting the hunt beginning.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is going to be doable.
Letting my arrow fly and true. This will happen. Letting my arrow fly and true. Oh.
Yeah, didn't think so. That's what I was worried about. Ulbrich may have a chance at that fight, but definitely not her. But unfortunately, Ulbrich doesn't even have an option to try to do that fight until he hits level 60. I can do it, but I am going to be dead broke. But seeing as how this is probably an endgame level item, should be worth it. Not to mention it's a sword, so it can go on to Ulbrich and I'll always have it on my strongest character. Alright, time for side quests. Those brutes are always coming around my shop picking fights that no one ever sought. They meddle in my trade and even threaten me with violence. I'm as proud of my wares as any, but even I wouldn't shop here if I had to deal with that. Can't they find someone else to bother? I already have one of those, but I wouldn't mind having another one. But I definitely want that one to put on whoever I use for magic damage. And then that one I'm not 100% sure. I think I just sold one of those for 9,500, so that's, unless I steal it, that's not going to grant me any profit. it the only one? Yeah, it's the only one on this map. I think there was like 4 total.
Well met.
I'm studying the Ventus dynasty, which prospered 3 centuries before our time. Ventus III is my favorite of the kings. He was renowned for his drawings and paintings. The strange thing is, one day Ventus III suddenly stopped painting and never touched a brush again. It was as if he'd lost his muse. A queer mystery, fair to say, and I'm setting about to solve it. I don't suppose there's anywhere you can go buy tomato juice right now, is there? Meet again. Thank you for what you did. You remember? I am a historian, and you were so good as to show me the way to the ancient monument. Have you heard any tales of King Beowulf, perchance? If you have, I would like nothing more than hear them with my own ears.
Amazing!
Ballad about the Castle of Everhold, you say? No, I've never heard it. So a red-eyed dragon appeared, sowing death and destruction. Hornburg was on the verge of collapse. It was up to the aging King Beowulf to defeat the dragon. He built a castle strong enough to withstand the dragon, then risking all rode out to meet it. If this ballad's tale is true, then the remains of that castle must still stand somewhere in these lands. This is a valuable new clue. If I can find that castle, then... Gramercy, fair friend, you have been of great service. This tome came from a land across the sea. It appears to describe the lives and customs of the people who live there. Sadly, it was written in a script I can make neither heads nor tails of. I wonder if anyone can. Oh, I didn't actually go turn that one in. I finished that, Alright. Need to hit the Flames Grace. Like, I went through the dungeon and everything, but I didn't actually go turn it in. Robbie, is that the horn of a Jotun? With this kind of proof, though, surely my theories will start to have some weight. I'll be able to find a patron and continue my research. Little is known about the Jotun. They are elusive creatures, so much so that many doubt that they even truly exist. But this horn is in beautiful condition. A specimen like this will change some minds at last. When I was only a boy, a scholar passed through the town where I was living. He was on a journey, but he told me of tales of ice-covered giants living in a frozen land. His tales are what started me on this path as a scholar. But I was only a boy then. If I ever knew the man's name, I certainly don't recall it any longer. Still, if my memories are no lie, and he was truly the man I thought him to be, then I imagine he must be out there somewhere looking for giants even now. Now it is time that I get back to my own work. Thank you so much for this great boon. Is that better than what I have? No. Not even close. Alright, so back to here. Alright, let's look up and see which of these we can do right now. We are in Stone Guard. We need to get the exotic grandma from Ripple-Tide for that one. Okay, Royal Secret is the one where I need to go back to Tomb of Kings and interrogate the guy at the end. And oddly enough, the one for the Noel Secret of Knowledge 2 one, it says it doesn't have a solution yet. So I'm starting to think that maybe this guide is not one I should be trying to follow. Doesn't seem like it's complete. Oh wait, never mind. That one that it said it didn't have an answer for, that was the one that I already finished. That was the one where I had to tell her about the Fortress of Everhold. So never mind about that one. This one I need to bring the exotic grandma from Ripple-Tide. That one I need to interrogate the guy at the end of the Tomb of Kings. This one it says there's by the item shop, someone named Tobias. I may have to beat the crap out of.
A good day to... Huh?
Can I help you with something?
Let us fight with honor. Victory shall... With each battle, I grow stronger.
Help! Boss, it's Tobias! What? Bastard Tobias up and disappearing without paying us for the job. There's a convenient excuse. Slacker never did a hard day's work in his life. That will see him or our money ever again. Wait up, boss! What is the meaning of all this?
Oh!
You there, what was all that commotion about? So Tobias was the one behind all this. He set these ne'er-do-wells on me to get my business. I knew he was a no-good slacker, but I didn't think he was fool enough to resort to intimidating his fellow merchants. At least you put an end to that nonsense. Thank you, young one. Though I do wish that... but wishes are as numerous as the grains of sand in the desert. I'll be fine. You've done enough already, friend. More than enough for a stranger. Physical defense 65. Let me see if there's an alternate. I just realized that this other one I'm looking at shows multiple ways to finish these things. Nope, this one I have to guide the exotic grandma. Wait, did I rob these people? I don't remember there being anybody in the bar before. Alright, where is this exotic grandma?
Ugh. Hello there. Greetings.
I think I can just pick that guy up later. You want me to read this book, you say? If you'd be so kind, you can read it, can't you? Let's see. Oh, now this brings back memories. It is a language of the Far East. Are you certain? You doubt me? Then let me translate for you. Far to the west lies the great continent of Orstera. In that land was a city called Hornburg, where a mighty gate was built. My good lady, you can read these outlandish squigglies. These moon runes. Yes, though I am out of practice. Forgive my impertinence, but how did you learn such a thing? It's a long tale, truth be told. My husband was a scholar of all things foreign. His investigations would take him far and wide, and I would join him on his travels. He taught me the customs and tongues of the places we visited. He was an earnest teacher, and I learned much. And now, he passed away and had no more reason to roam. I'm sorry, my lady. Oh, don't look so glum. 'Twas years ago. Now I suppose you want to hear more from this book. I would indeed, so gods mend me. I wish to know what secrets lie within these pages. Please, will you translate it for me? Translate, you say? You refuse? Nay, 'tis a simple enough task, and I'll do it gladly. You've done me a great favor. Thank you most kindly. Restores XP after every action.
Well met.
That's when we have to go back to the Tomb of Kings for. That's like a level 30-something dungeon. Can't remember where I had to go for that one. Oh, that one's waiting for me. I have to go to Victor's Hollow for that one. That one's waiting for Duskbarrow, I think. That one's like almost gonna be endgame. Okay, so Corpse with No Name from the Riverlands. And In Search of Father 2 from the Coastlands. Let's see if I can get either one of those done. Okay, so that one is waiting for me to go to Grandport. Just probably not going to be till much later. The other one. Also Victor's Hollow. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done in Victor's Hollow. Oh yeah, Left Behind. What was that one? I keep thinking if there's one that was supposed to be done now that I'm here in Stoneguard. No, that's right. That was the other one that's Victor's Hollow. So, back to the Tomb of Kings.
Victory shall be mine.
Wow, that was... really missed a lot of them there.
battle is truly joined. I will cut you down!
Oh no!
Letting the hunt beginning. Lightning, done my thing.
Now, what next?
Let's do this! How's that?
Standest thou against me? Then be hunted.
Have at you! Death by 1,000 cuts!
My turn now!
Now, what next? So much to learn.
Letting my arrow fly and true.
Victory shall be mine! I will cut you down! Have at you!
Here I go! Oh, thank you!
Now, what next? Thus ends your lesson.
I already missed the way. Yes, I did.
Can't we settle this like gentlemen?
Victory shall be mine! Cursed witchery!
Letting the hunt beginning.
Cursed
Now,
witchery!
what next?
What to do? The winds are howling.
An interesting dilemma.
Letting my arrow fly and true.
What to do?
Letting my arrow.
Now, what next? Nothing will fight before. You should have studied harder.
So I just need to get to the top level and interrogate that guy.
Can't we settle this like gentlemen?
What to do? I'll get my money's worth.
Victory shall be mine. I will cut you down.
What next? A torrent. The hunt ends.
That reminds me, I'd said I was going to do it before. What do I take off?
Ready or not, here I come.
Now then.
Letting my arrow fly and true. I honor thee, my quarry. Nah, right. Loss of money if I do that.
Let us fight with honor. Now then. I think not.
Just because I kind of want to see how much this will actually do.
I think not. Now then.
Damn it.
With each battle, I grow stronger.
I also wouldn't have been able to put him in break state without killing him. And that I'm pretty sure I sold one of those just a little bit ago. It was sold for 9,500. so that's not going to get me a profit.
Well met.
Tomb, a royal tomb. What could have befallen there? In his later years until his death, Ventus III worked to better his realm. Thanks to his reforms, the realm continued to prosper under his son's rule. But after the son died, the realm was torn asunder by civil war. Two brothers fought for the throne, one the son of the queen, one the bastard son of the king's mistress. The base-born brother was a better man and older too, but only true blood matters, and the throne was his brother's. So the kingdom was first divided and then broken beyond fixing. I had heard tell of a civil war, but I never knew that the royal family itself had become divided. The man who protects the tomb is a descendant of the older brother. In his veins runs the blood of the man who brought the Ventus dynasty to its tragic end. So it's a penance of sorts, the way he devotes his life to watching over that tomb. I thought me well versed in matters of the past, but I fain imagined such an extraordinary tale. I'm going to write the tale down without further ado and deliver the paper to the Royal Society. Thank you for all you have done. I mean, sometimes that's what you, if you have a weird craving at the middle of the night, I mean, sometimes that's what you gotta deal with. HP plus 600.
Day for battle. The battle is truly joy. Cursed witchery. Now then. How about this? The battle is truly joy. How about this? The battle is truly joy. Have at you. Victory shall be mine. My blade is unbending.
See how much this actually does now that I've got the damage limit uncapped.
I wreak havoc upon thee! The thrill of the fight.
So that means if I had the damage limit still on, it would only do half damage. Hey, Lost. Yeah, unfortunately for you, late middle of the night EBF is free. And, yeah, Samato, the big thing that happened, you know, the good thing that happened for the graphics card market is that the crypto market tanked. So you no longer have all these people buying up every high-end graphics card they can get their hands on to make money with crypto. So the prices have actually stabilized. Ah, allergies are messing with me today. It could be. If it's used, definitely be careful, because if it was used for crypto previously, then it's going to be, like, shot. But I'd also recommend probably waiting a little bit longer, because I think NVIDIA is going to be announcing its 4000 series very soon. Let me double check that. I think I heard that the 4000 series of NVIDIA is supposed to be coming out. Okay. It's just rumors right now, but the rumors are that the NVIDIA 4000 series is going to be announced later this year. So, I mean, I just say try like wait a little bit, and I know you may, since you said you were going to be saving up for it, it may be a while anyway. But I mean, obviously once the 4000 series are announced, and then probably again once the 4000 series is released, then the 3000s will go down in price. Of course, all of this is also assuming that crypto doesn't pop back up in popularity and in profitability. So I guess it is kind of a gamble. What was I doing? Alright, I was gonna rest at the inn, and then we're gonna start Honnet's Chapter 2. And so Honnet set forth in search of Zanta, her master, the closest thing to a father she had vanished while pursuing the baleful fiend Red-Eye, and the huntresses vowed to find him and bring him home. The direwolf Hagen, Zanta's ever-faithful companion, had returned to their village, but alone. It was enough to make Honnet fear the worst. In the first and only letter he wrote before disappearing, Zanta had mentioned the town of Stoneguard, and so Honnet followed her master to the highlands, but to what avail? Stoneguard. This is where master said he would sojourn. Well, Hagen, dost thou perceive his scent? Something about this place confuseth and troubleth thee, but no matter. Thou hast done well to bring us here. Now it is my turn to lead in the hunt. But this is a large and sprawling settlement, not like our forest home. Now, child, thou needst not fear. We will ask in the people. Someone is bound to knoweth of master.
Well,
I am glad thou agreest. Now, where to begin in the search? The alehouse, of course. If master is known anywhere in this town, it would be there. What can I do for you, lassie?
greetings.
A bowl of that broth that thou wouldst, and answering me a question. The broth is easy enough. As for answers, you'll have to ask a question before I can tell you if I have any.
So then...
Knowest thou of a hunter named Zanta? I believe he sojourned here some moons ago. I know him, but I ain't seen him around for a spell now. Heard he'd taken to visit a woman named Natalia. She's got a owl sound around the edge of town.
So then...
Natalia? Its name is unfamiliar to me. I thank you thee, Lord. If you don't mind me prying, lassie, you don't happen to be his apprentice, do you?
Yes.
I am.
Ah.
I knew it. He used to talk about you all the time, he did. When he was in his cups. Apprentice was nothing like him. Strict and straight in his arrow, no time for foolishness and folly, he'd say. Soon as you mentioned his name, I reckon you was one and the same, which a match in his description and all. I'll take that as a compliment. Will you now?
Oh,
What is it, Hagen?
damn.
Something has happened. Come on, girl. We must follow in him.
Hoi!
Show you, mangy beast. Go on, bugger off.
At your service.
My dearest Natalia, what a delightful coincidence. Fancy running into each other here.
How are you?
I fancy that. I was just returning from the market.
It is an honor.
Oh, but what a burden you are shouldering, my dear. You must allow me to deliver it for you. That is, I'll have my man here do it, naturally.
Nay.
I'm most honored, sir, but you needn't. Milady, I insist. I could not forgive myself if you were to strain a muscle. On my honor, his worship never gives up, does he?
Right.
Poor lass has caught the eye of a wrong sort. Bound to happen with her looks turning every man's head.
Not so.
He's a wolf draped in silks, and that soldier is make sure he don't fall afoul of the husbands and fathers. Ain't no refusing him once he's got the scent. Remember the miller's daughter.
Oh ho!
So that's it, Hagen. Thou knowest this woman, and thou art trying to help in her. Wise creature that thou art, thou seest that she is in trouble. And so thou wilt to scaring off the soldier.
So then...
Is that right, Hagen?
Understood.
And letting me help. Were a fearsome beast to appear in before him, that soldier would flee. A happenstance for which no one could be blamed. The sheer nerve of that man. Thou canst say it that again. Consider yourself warned, Harnett. Stay well clear of self-centered men. I have little experience with menfolk, aside from my master, of course. But thou hast experience in abundance. Pray tell me of their ways. I suppose I know a thing or two. All right, there are two kinds of men in this world. Those who devote themselves to their trade or calling and spare little thought for the fairer sex, and those that have no time at all for work but plenty for pleasure. If that is my choice, I shall take neither. Why, Harnett, it would seem you don't need my counsel after all. It's like some old English dialect she's speaking in.
Now, let us hunt him. Come in, if thou darest. What next? Letting my arrow fly and true. I will not be thy prey, letting the hunt begin. Come in, if thou darest. Holding back nothing. What next? I will not let the hunt begin. Come in, if thou darest. me. Letting the hunt begin.
This is so much easier with Ulbrich than having to play Pokemon with her.
Letting the hunt begin. Coming, if thou darest. Letting the hunt begin. Letting the hunt begin. Letting the hunt come. I will not letting the hunt begin. What next?
Of course, this is probably also harder than it needs to be because it's been a while since I've used Haunted, and even when I did, I didn't really focus on nabbing monsters for her.
Letting the hunt come. I will not let my arrow fly true. What next?
I mean, did it bring the dead mouse to you, or did you stop it while it was trying to eat? Because those can mean two completely different things.
Letting my arrow fly true. I honor thee, my quarry.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just more so that I haven't really been paying attention to monster collecting with her. Like, a lot of those monsters that I had on that list were from, like, still from, like, Chapter 1 areas. A monster in the middle of town? Hey, where are you going? I paid good money for you.
Hagen?
Where have you been? You left so sudden, and I've had no tidings of neither of you since. Where's your master, Hagen? Where's Zanta?
Greetings.
Okay. Well, as disgusting as it seems, if it just brings it and, like, if it kills it and then leaves it somewhere for you to find it like that, it's a gift. Like, your cat is essentially trying to give you a gift even though you don't want it. They're bad gift givers. Thou must be Natalia. I needn't speaking with thee.
Oh?
And who might you be?
Greetings.
I am Zanta's prentice. I have traveled here from the Darkwood.
You don't say.
His prentice, you say? Then you must be Haunted. I've heard tell of you. So Master spake of me.
Aye.
Said you were a fine young huntress and learning fast, no matter his ham-fisted teaching. To raising others while belittling himself. That soundeth like Master. Aye, he's a good man, but as guileless as a beet.
So then...
Guileless, yes. Fatuous also, with a weakness for wine and dice. And yet, he is honest and noble, and handleth a bow with the best of them.
'Tis true.
Aye, you speak the truth there. So where is the old rascal? If Hagen's here, he can't be far.
The truth is...
Hagen returned to our village alone. I have come here in search of Master.
What?
Good God, something happened to the man. I was hoping that thou couldst help me answer that.
Huh.
I fear I may not be of much help, but I'm happy to tell you all I know.
Forgive me.
Can we talk in at thine home? Let me carry some of that.
Thank you.
Why, thank you.
Huh.
I wish there was more I could tell you. Last I heard he was heading for the forest out in the hills yonder. Then nothing.
Perchance.
When was this?
'Tis true.
3 months, I'd say, give or take. He disappeared before, only to show up all of a sudden a few days later. I thought this time would be the same, but then the days turned to weeks and the weeks to... I beg thee forgive us my bluntness, but how didst thou knowest him? My husband died not so long ago. Zonta was a friend of his. My husband, you see, was a soldier in service to the realm. They met when hunting monsters, and, well, they shared a love of hunting and ale, so they had much to talk about down at the alehouse. Then my husband grew sick, and... After the funeral, Zonta started calling from time to time, and I appreciated the company, truth be told.
Understood.
Am I embarrassing you, dear? Suppose he's like a father to you. He was my teacher, but... I have no kin. I was alone in the world. Master took me in, cared for me, raised me as a hunter. Perhaps he only did so because he wanted to passeth on his knowledge, the hunting lore that he had learned from his own ancestors.
So?
But yes, to me he is like a father I never had.
Oh?
You must be worried sick him being gone so long without no word. I am. Thank thee for thine help, but now I must take my leave. I am going to the forest, though surely the trail is cold by now.
Well, well.
Do take care of yourself, my dear.
Yes.
I will. I feel like they're very inconsistent with keeping the accents in the text for these. May I ask one more favor? When thou next seest him, do not tell him what I said today.
Oh?
I mean about him being like your father and all. I don't see where the harm is.
Ugh.
He would never let me live it down. Aye, doubtless true, now that you mention it. He's just the sort who'd tease a poor girl for speaking her heart. Alright, it'll stay our little secret then. Thank thee. Make for Specterwood. Everybody's topped off. We're good. Yeah, I need to mentally make it a point that I need to try to capture monsters while I'm doing this dungeon. And any other time I have her in the party. Since I've pointed out that that is something that I have not been doing. She's... Speaking of which... Oh, I don't have it on anybody. thought I had on evasive maneuvers to lower the encounter rate, but I don't. So. Should give us more chances to try to capture.
The battle is truly joined.
I am ready. Oh, don't mind me.
Out of my way.
Letting my arrow fly and true. I shall cleave it in two. What next?
You know, for something that's supposed to be 7 strength, it did not seem to do that much damage. Yeah, I've only got 1 use of it left, so I might as well replace it.
I am ready. The show is over.
Now, let us hunt him.
Now then. A torrent of arrows.
I am ready. Oh, don't mind me.
Visits be coming, if thou darest.
Victory shall With each battle, I grow stronger.
Is there really nothing down here? That's odd. There's usually a chest or something whenever there's a side path.
Now then. Out of my way.
Out of my way.
I am ready.
What next?
Out of my way.
I am ready. Oh, don't mind me.
Have at you.
Coming, if thou. My turn. Here. Coming, if thou darest.
I am ready. The show is over.
Real J Snow? Hey, Real, it's going pretty good. I'm guessing Real J Snow, is that a Game of Thrones reference, like a Jon Snow? A rockfall and no way around. But this is not recent. By the length of the shoots growing on it, I'd say 1-2 moons ago.
So then,
Rememberst thou this place? Is this where thou leftest him? Oh, okay. I do not mean it like that, little one. Thou hastenedest all the way to the village for help. Thou dost not betrayest him, Hagen. I kind of figured because of the reel in front of it that maybe it was a Game of Thrones reference. Thou went turning back and searching for another path. There was no way past this rock slide, that much is certain.
On it.
Listen, my girl. Hunting isn't just about sticking arrows into a monster's hide. Sometimes the land setteth itself against thee, and nature herself, fickle old sow that she is. But always remembering to stop it and takest in the air, lookst around thee. Even if nature is thy foe, it does not mean thou must fightst her.
just so.
Instead, turnst the lay of the land in thy favor. The creatures of this forest must have found an away paths, letting us searching for their trail.
This bodeth ill.
Hagen, Lind, to my side. That explains this path. I was about to say that usually whenever there's a side path, there's a treasure in it or something, but that one had nothing. Jigs, if you've already had one, you may want to cut it there. What is it? I'm attacking a tree.
Come in then, if this be as
I am attacking a tree.
What next? Letting my arrow fly and true. Letting the hunt beginning. Next. Letting the hunt beginning. So this will letting my arrow fly and true. What next?
I just happen to not have anything in my list that this thing is weak to other than the bat, but I only have 2 more uses of that. And it's kind of RNG whether he uses a slash or a pierce attack.
Coming, if thou holding back nothing. What next? Letting my arrow fly and true.
Yeah, Nami said he was gonna be basically just drinking and lurking, so I don't think he'll actually be here to... I don't think he'll actually be here to chat.
This will help. What next? Letting the hunt beginning. Thou didst fight with courage.
Well, I'll be damned.
So, you know where to go next. Yes, from the moment I saw the landslide. Impressive. Well, I guess the hunter's most at home in the woods, eh? Thanks be to my training, my master hath taught me well. I hear there's no fiend he couldn't slay. As a hunter he is out without peer, but... when he ventureth into town he is too easily tempted by the alehouse and games of chance. He lacketh anything resembling discipline. Sounds to me like you're being a bit harsh on him. Harsh, however so. Even the best of men fall prey to the temptations of the city. So it truly is more fearsome than the deepest of forests.
Letting us beginning.
I am ready.
My turn.
Now then.
Coming, if thou darest.
Right. I never bothered to get that skill that drops him down to 1 HP.
I shall plead.
Victory shall be mine.
But I think he might have it. Yeah, he does.
Coming, if thou darest.
I am ready.
My turn.
Coming, if thou darest. I shall plead.
Now then. Watch my blade dance.
I don't have evasive maneuvers on, but I feel like there's not nearly as many encounters in here as there are usually.
Things to do.
I am ready.
Thunder! Ring out! What's this?
My turn.
Now then. Dance on the edge.
What next? Sorcery.
Here.
Have at you. Use this.
What next?
I am ready.
Here.
I am ready. Stay strong.
What's
The
this?
battle is truly joy. Dance on the edge.
I shall attend unto thee.
Have at you.
My turn.
Love and slash.
The show is over.
Let us begin.
No, I've already got one of
I
them.
am ready.
Thunder! Ring out!
Now then. Death by a thousand
What next?
Victory shall be mine.
Letting my arrow fly and true.
My turn.
I am ready. The show is over.
Okay, there. The one with the force shield is the one I wanted to get.
I am ready.
Thunder! Ring out! Letting my arrow fly and true. Everything but your life.
I am ready.
Letting my arrow fly and true.
Jeez. Is it still not at 1 HP?
Everything but your life.
It's not.
I am ready. Stay strong.
Coming, if thou darest. Holding back nothing.
Wow. Yeah, so I figured.
What's this?
Dance on the edge.
And it's at 1 HP, so I don't know how much of a bonus you get for... I don't know how much of a bonus you get for them being broken, but... Definitely not a very high chance of capturing that thing.
Using this. just beginning.
But I do want it.
Witchery.
I am ready. The moonlight glows.
Damn it.
Here. Over here. Down.
Use this.
My turn. Here.
What next?
Flames, burn this away.
And that's that.
Alright, so I was sticking around in this place, hoping to get that one enemy, but if 10% chance is about the highest I can get it, that's not really worth sticking around to try. Move on to the dungeon. Actually, I need to go ahead and take my break. So, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'll take my break, I'll be back in 5, and then we'll continue finishing up this chapter. back.
Standest thou against me? Then be hunted. Let the hunt begin.
Level slash.
How about you?
I am ready. Flames, burn us away.
Here.
How about you?
Is that a question? Because there's no question mark at the end of it. Your face is mid. No, there's party interactions. You were lied to.
I am ready.
Let my arrow fly and true.
That is a 6. That's a 4. For you or for me? Because if I get it, I'm getting it on PC. For you, I don't know. I assume you're going to complain about it anyway, so you might as well get it on Switch where it looks like ass. It's a loud game, okay? See, here's the thing about the game being loud. You can turn your volume down, but if I put it too soft, you can't turn your volume up if it's already all the way up.
Are you? You're too fine.
What next?
Now then. Dance on the edge.
Coming, if thou darest. Thou didst fight with courage.
No, he's asking about Tactics Ogre Reborn. Like, this isn't on PS4. What he's talking about this game is he's saying that the game is too loud in comparison to my voice.
Let us fight
Which
with
I had already turned it down a little bit at the start of the stream. Because Ragnar said that, and then he said it was okay. I think Tactics Ogre Reborn's coming out in November? I think?
I am ready.
and true.
Okay, so this is gonna be another one that ridiculously low chance to capture. Yeah, it's a 7. So forget about it.
The battle is truly joy. The thrill of the fight.
And, you know, sell your soul, sell a kidney. There's lots of sellable things on the human body.
Let us fight with honor. The battle is truly joined.
Out of my way. Level slash.
I am ready. Flames, burn this away.
Coming, if thou darest. My turn.
Where's the nearest tavern?
Haideru, what are you even doing awake right now?
Let us fight with honor.
Oh, that's... I can't, because my main is Ulbrick, so he's always going to be in there. And I wouldn't be able to do that until I go back to town anyway. Not to mention that making me do that is also going to make me miss out on a purple chest when I do a dungeon. So you're working through your depression by coming in to bully a poor defenseless game like Octopath Traveler?
Level slash.
What next?
I am ready. Flames, burn this away.
The battle is truly joined. Out of my way!
Coming, if thou darest.
I am ready. Oh, don't mind me.
No!
Letting my arrow
my way.
Letting my arrow fly and true. This will help us.
Have at you.
Well, I mean, the gameplay choices in Xenogears were also made, you know, back in the PS1 era. They make sense for back then.
Letting my arrow fly and true.
Out of my way.
I am ready. Oh, don't mind me.
The battle is truly joined.
Coming, if thou darest. Holding back nothing.
1 and 5. Nope. Alright, let's just kill it.
Don't start things you can't finish.
Hey, Irby, how you doing? I don't know. At this point, I'm guessing it may not release on PS4 for whatever reason. Nintendo probably paid specifically so that it doesn't go to PS4.
Then be hunted.
But it's on PC. Get it on PC.
Out of my way.
Give your hamster a workout.
Now then.
What next?
I am ready.
Victory shall be mine.
Hydra was asking when Octopath Traveler would come to PC. Or not PC, PS4. I was basically telling him that since it's already come out on PC and there's no plans for PS4 yet, I'm guessing Nintendo might have paid for console exclusivity.
With each battle, I grow stronger.
Is it on Xbox? So is it literally on everything but PS4? Yeah, no kidding. It was released on Xbox One March 25th of 2021. It's even on Stadia. On the Switch in 2019, Switch in 2018, Windows for PC in 2019, Stadia in 2020, and Xbox One in 2021. So I guess if they're releasing it every year on something, then if 2022 goes by and it doesn't come out on PS4, then yeah, it's not coming. No, that's what I'm saying. I was looking at the release dates. It seems like it released on a different platform every year. It was like 2018 for Switch, 2019 for PC, 2020 for Stadia, and then 2021 for Xbox One. So 2022 should have been the year for PS4 if it was going to, but if the year goes by and nothing, then I'm gonna say they just have no plans.
They are lovely stands. I am ready. Flames, burn this away.
Out of my way.
Level slash.
Victory shall be mine.
Letting the hunt begin.
Have at you. With each battle, I grow stronger.
I'm pretty sure I got it discounted on PC. I know I didn't pay full price for this.
Day for battle.
Switch, on the other hand, yeah, I mean, that's Switch. Not very often things go on sale.
Out of my way.
I am ready. Flames, burn this away.
What next?
Have at you. Dead on the edge.
Out of my way.
Letting my arrow fly and true.
Yeah. This is just one of those ones that's... I'm not going to get a good percent chance of capturing it. So, forget about that.
Thou didst fight with courage.
Yeah, is it still on Game Pass? Because if it's on Game Pass, just buy Game Pass for like a month and get it there.
Come on, I've got better things to do.
Now then.
I'll take this.
I am ready.
Letting my arrow fly and true.
I am ready. Flames, burn this away. The show is over.
Well, if you're going to keep that mindset, then you're going to end up getting price gouged. Because that's the way the industry is going. They're going to be making less and less physical copies of stuff, which means they're going to sell out faster, they're going to get scalped, and you're going to have to overpay.
I am ready.
Letting the hunt begin. What next?
You're too.
Victory shall be mine. With each battle, I grow stronger.
Oh yeah, because I'm sure you'll have I'm sure you'll have enough electricity to run a console in the apocalypse. That's a great plan. I highly suggest you try to stick to that plan. Like, you'll literally be the video game equivalent of that old Twilight Zone episode about the guy that is in the library at the apocalypse and breaks his reading glasses. You'd just be sitting there, it's like, but there's finally time. You can't get any electricity.
I see.
I mean, there's even a subscription for a car now. I forget which car company it is, but there's a car company that's giving people a subscription for, like, upgrades, like warmed seats, and, like, basically those luxury upgrades that you can get to a car. They're letting people buy them on subscription, and if they don't pay, it turns off. Like... The whole world is starting to go that way. Yeah, BMW. I thought that was... It was one of those things that it sounds ridiculous to hear until you realize that just that's the way everything is going. But it was not versus beasts. The destruction lieth only on one side of the field. Here the rocks are marked with, yes, nicks made by steel weapons. Faded footprints, too. The signs of men. This fletching, there's no mistaking it. This is one of Master's arrows. He was among those who fought here. It is and it isn't. It's pro-consumer as far as the price, but, you know, as we've just been pointing out, it's anti-consumer in that it's a way of making sure that you don't actually own it. So, it's cheaper, yes, but it's also making sure that you don't claim ownership on it, so it's kind of... It's gray area. Was his foe this red-eye? The trail continueth further into the woods. We must follow it. Also, what gives with this chapter? So far, like, there has been no voice acting at all in Honnet's Chapter 2. Every other character, they had at least 2 little conversations where they had voice acting. She has had none this entire time. The Lord of the Forest is in a foul temper, I see. It cometh.
Cometh, if this beest thy will.
My turn. I see.
The battle is truly joined.
I am ready. Oh, don't mind me.
Come in, if thou darest. Letting my arrow fly and true.
Have at you.
I am ready.
The battle is truly joined.
Level slash.
What next?
Yeah, and that's kind of why I say it's one of those things that it's not easy to say whether it's pro or anti-consumer. It's kind of a little of both.
I am ready.
The lion dance.
Victory shall be mine. My blade is unbent. I wreak havoc upon thee.
My turn. I see through the defenses.
I am ready. Stay strong.
See if I can get in one more before it goes off.
Next. I shall cleave it in two.
Nope.
Out of my way.
I shall attend to thee.
I am ready.
The battle is truly joined. The battle is truly joined.
Let my arrow fly in true.
I am ready.
The lion dance. What next? I shall cleave it in two.
I see.
Now then. My blade is I wreak havoc upon thee! With each battle, I grow stronger.
Yeah, and you can kind of see that just looking at consoles versus computers. Because usually when consoles first come out, at least the Sony and Microsoft ones, they're usually pretty competitive with like whatever the highest on the market is at the time, and about half the cost. Like building a gaming PC definitely costs way more than buying a console.
But this was not the red-eye that Master sought.
But they also are upgradable, since you can change out individual components.
Which meaneth our true quarry lieth deeper within the forest.
Master!
But frozen, petrified in stone. What unholy thing happened here?
Well, they were already saying he had a problem with drinking. Now he's getting stoned. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why a lot of times they'll sell consoles at a loss, because they know they'll be making it up in software from first party. And even third party, since third party usually has to give them a portion. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
Matches arrows.
if you look at the raw cost of components, you can tell that they're taking a loss on consoles usually just based upon power level when it comes out comparative to what power level PCs are at when consoles come out.
Did this fate befall him even as he drew his bow? There is a note tied to the shaft.
To whomever readest this, like as not, thou foundest this next to a stone figure. That's me, the hunter Xanta, in the flesh, so to speak. I was commissioned by the Knights Ardent to hunt in the beast they call an Red Eye. A beast that hath left me in this unfortunate state. Among Red Eye's formidable powers is the ability to petrify. Already my feet have turned to solid rock. I have but a short time to pen this message before the curse overtaketh me completely.
Yeah. Though I wonder how much of a loss they actually did take on that, because while it would be $200 more if a normal person were buying all those parts, I don't know how much of, like, the bulk discount that they were getting factored into that. I'm sure they were taking a loss, but I don't know how much they were on each unit.
In a village called Still Snow,
because they're definitely paying less for the
Susanna.
parts than a normal person would, since they'd be buying them in large quantities.
Surely she shall knoweth what to done about this petrification. It is a faint hope, but the only one that remaineth to me. This beast cannot be allowed to run amok. It is far too dangerous, too savage. Pray helpeth me, not for my sake, but for the innocents who dieth if this creature is not put down.
Master.
And Honnet, if thou art reading this, pray forgive us this old man for not keeping that promise.
The old fool, even as he was turning to stone. So thou wilt stay and watchest over him. That is good. I will seek out this seer Susanna, and pray she knoweth a way to break in the curse. Fearest not, Master. We will save you. Of this I swear. I should first return to Natalia and tell her what we have found.
Yeah, look, Hideru, this is for you. For all the people that said that there's no talking amongst party members. Your master is an impressive man. It is in our most trying moments that our true character is revealed. Your master refused to yield even as his limbs turned to solid stone. There are few with the wits to know what must be done at such a time, fewer still with the composure to act upon it. Through his courage he instilled in you the gift of hope. It is that, if that is not greatness, then I know not what is. Truth be told, I have never heard such praise bestowed upon him. I look forward to the day that the three of us can sit down and share a drink. Best not. Thou shouldst know that turneth most tedious when thy mead starteth flowing. Endless tall tales of the great beasts he hath hunted, each repeated thrice for good measure. See, perhaps just soup and barley tea then. I mean, granted, that's the extent of the party talking to each other, is you just get little skits like that whenever you do someone's chapter, but there is some. When are you gonna get a webcam? When are you gonna let everybody see you? You even have that, like, that channel point redeemed for you to turn on your webcam. And you never do it. Yeah, that and like it's getting more and more towards the point that they're not doing as many exclusives. Like, more and more companies are getting to the point where they're just releasing their stuff on everything. And then once you buy it on PC, I mean, you have it. You don't have to worry about buying a new console and if it's backwards compatible or not.
It's good to see
Once
you.
it's on PC, it's just available. Oh, there you are, dear. Well, did you find him?
Greetings.
We did, however.
What?
The beast turned him to stone. If his letter spake true, then yes. I do not yet know how we can bring him back, but I will find a way. I will begin by finding the seer called Susana. In hunting thou must never abandon the chase. Master taught me this. If I am to truly call myself his prentice, I must see this hunt through to the very end.
Oh?
Indeed.
'Tis true.
It's a queer thing. What is? You and Zonta are different in so many ways, yet at times like this, your eyes glitter in the same way. You both have the same steel inside you when you set your mind to something.
Truly?
Is that so? Aye, I reckon it is. Almost like father and daughter, you might say.
Oh?
Yeah, you do have to put in more work a lot of time into PC stuff. But once again, it's a little more of a pain in the ass, but it's also so that you can just have an all-in-one. Like, you don't, like, once something's on PC, it's just available. You don't have to worry about, like, oh, was that released on PS3? Let me go get my PS3 and plug it in and put that in. It's like, no, it's on PC. And that's one of the main problems with console. Not so much Microsoft, but then again, they don't really have exclusives. Like, all their stuff does go to PC already. Microsoft is about the only one that's been doing pretty well at making everything backwards compatible. Whereas Sony and Nintendo, not so much. So it's just one of those things that, like, you always have to wonder, like, okay, what system was this on? Let me go dig that system out of the closet. Honestly, Ragnar, I don't know what it is, but I mean, we've found this on several occasions that it seems like for some there's something with your computer that seems to be messing up more PC ports than for everybody else. I wish I knew what it was, but apparently your PC has some issue that seems to be getting in the way of gaming for a lot of titles that other people don't have any problems with.
Hmm?
Someone thou knowest, girl.
Indeed.
Thought I recognized that mule.
But...
Liza, what art thou doing here?
It's like this.
We had no word from Zonta for weeks. I came to find him. In his most recent missive, he said he was coming to this town in pursuit of the beast.
I see.
Was the last I heard from him as well. Whatever has happened here, you must tell me all you know. That's just it's
mercy.
It's just
for a hunter
Honnet
of Zonta's skill to succumb.
Honnet and the people from her village for some reason talk in like super old style English. And granted, they don't do it. They seem to slip in and out of it in the writing, but this particular town seems to have a Scottish accent to their writing. But like I said, it doesn't seem to be very consistent in the text.
I would hear all thou knowest about this red-eye.
I fear I know very little. Nothing even. The Knights Ardent simply bid me hire Zonta.
Yeah, that's pretty normal though. Usually in Steam discussions, any kind of issues that people could be having with the game are usually pinned topics at the top.
But it is clear
But that doesn't mean most people are
danger.
experiencing it. It's usually just certain hardware configurations.
And why send one man to face the monster alone?
Not any man.
So great was the peril, they could turn to no one else. On the hunt, no one could match his speed, his guile. If they had sent a regiment with him, he would have squandered his strength just to keep them alive, or so they said.
It is true. Our village wanteth not for skilled hunters, but even the best of them would only get in his way. The knight's judgment was correct.
But even so...
It leaves a bad taste in your mouth, yes. It is the same for me.
Also, some of the voice actors do not pull off the accents right either. Like Natalia, if you look at the way her and the rest of the people in this town speak, it's a Scottish accent. Like, they don't really pronounce their H's. Like, it's very much a Scottish accent the way it's written, but the voice actor's not really doing it. Kind of in the same way that Alphen, from reading Alphen's text, it seems like he's supposed to have a southern accent, but they don't give it to him. That kind of bothers me a bit that some of the voice actors don't do the accent that's written in the text.
By sending one man alone, we declared to the world our own weakness. Now it falls to me to hunt Red-Eye in Zonta's stead. Honnet, you have another duty. You must go and find the seer.
Yes, it was Master's last command, before the curse overtook him. I will find the means to free him of it. I must.
Zonta's lucky to have such capable friends.
My skill in the hunt is hardly the measure of his, but he needs me, and I will do what I can. Countless times Zonta has lent me his strength and courage. Now it is time to give of mine. I shall send word if I learn more of this Red-Eye.
Thank thee. Fearing not, we will save it, Master.
Haunted, wait!
Natalia?
I'm so glad I caught you. Here, this is for your journey.
There was no need for thee to...
It's a trifle, compared to what you and Eliza are doing. Zonta was a good friend to me, after my husband passed away and all. Now I can't go fight no monsters like you two.
Yes, but...
So the least I can do is help you on your journey. Let me do that much at least.
Of course. Thank thee for the gift.
And, one more thing. Promise me you won't do anything foolish now, will ya? Even for Zonta's sake.
I will be cautious. After all, I'll be of no use to Master if I get myself killed.
Exactly. Good luck to you, Haunted.
Thank thee. I promise that I will return, and Master with me.
And thus Haunted leaves Stoneguard behind her, a new quest to save Zonta from his petrified fate. So she must find the seer Susanna, named in Zonta's last message. Though it be but a glimmer, it is hope nonetheless. So she sets out for the Frostlands and the village of Still Snow. It would seem that her journey has only just begun. Alright, so we've only got one chapter 2 left, and that's Ulberix. But since we haven't ransacked this town yet, that means that's what we need to do. There's the tavern, so we can start doing all of our villainous deeds. Alright, time to rob, interrogate, abduct, and beat people up. Strength. Lowly swordsman, worn and broken. Fought 1,000 battles if I fought one, and I'm tired of having this blade. There's a fool lad who's gone and made me his hero and wants to be a fighter like me. It's a wretched, dangerous trade, God's truth, and I wish I could dissuade it. Or it's a hidden item that he's just... It's up here. How do I get over there? How am I supposed to get to that? Oh, there we go. I didn't realize there was space in between here. Alright, ma'am. I'm gonna have to ask that you step aside so that I can rob that place.
Let us fight with honor. Have at you. Out of my way. Now then. Battle is true. Have at you. My blade is on. I wreak havoc upon thee. With each battle, I grow stronger.
Damn it. I thought I had fixed this when I reinstalled everything. It hadn't done it in a couple of days. Yep, stealing all the money from the orphanage, because we're the good guys. Yeah, I don't know why. It never used to do it before, and then it just started not too long. I want to say maybe a month ago it started doing this. He's a 7. Yeah, and that's why, because a couple of days ago, I completely uninstalled the webcam, uninstalled the driver, everything, and reinstalled them fresh, and it hadn't done it in a couple of days. Whereas before, it did it like once a day every time I streamed, and I thought I was done with it. Like I said, I went 2 or 3 days without it happening, so I thought it was fixed, but now it's doing it again. Yeah, I'll wait to get that later. Alright, see you, Hideru. Moniker 100 Punch Man.
It's a good day for battle. Victory shall... Have at you. The battle is truly joy. I wreak havoc upon thee! With each battle, I grow stronger.
She is carrying a lot of daggers. Definitely take him.
Oh.
Well met, friend. Remember me? You told me the tale of the monster tamers. I heard a rumor of a magic sword called Snakesbane. With such a weapon, surely I could defeat the giant snake that has possessed my father. The swordsman of the arena said to bear Snakesbane. I begged and pleaded with the man, but he refused to give it to me. Might be the only way to save my father. If only I could find a way to get it from him. So it feels like every person I'm interrogating is giving me some kind of info on someone at the arena and what they're weak to. I'm not really paying attention to it though. Also, this is another hidden item that I don't know how to get to. What's hiding here? What's the camera trick to be able to get in there? What do I have to walk behind? This is the enchanted blade, Snake's Bane. With it I can kill the snake beast that holds my father in its thrall. My father condemned violence. He was always a good and just man. But when monsters began to ravage the village where he lived, he was powerless to stop them. His only recourse was the forbidden magic. In my heart, I truly believe he meant no ill, and that is why I am set upon his deliverance.
Many thanks.
I thank you for this blade. I shall use it wisely. I shall find my father and by my own hand free him from his plight. Farewell. You know, in any other game, that would be a side quest where we would have to go kill the thing for him. It is kind of nice to see NPCs actually handling their own problems for once. Kind of. We did still have to give him the tool to be able to do it. Why do you have so much candy, old man? Wait, did I not start his quest?
Curses!
Wagered and lost, and now my purse is empty as a god's cursed desert. Hopes live on, next wager will bring me a king's riches. Hark now, do an ill-fated retribution and check on the fighters, will you? Local sword swingers Astartes and Lancer Mont d'Or of the Ice North. Bring me news of them.
How now?
Hey, you be. What news you bring? Oh, Mont d'Or looks fit and hale, does he? Been training hard, you say, and there's a fire in his eyes. Local lad Astartes got the smell of defeat on him, you say. So nervous that his belly aches, is he? Scared of what the local crowds will roar when he makes a toad's pie at it all. I don't doubt. God's truth, and I know on what head I'll place my last coins. Bless you, friend. Big's in heaven, the day is mine at last. Surprised, are you? I put my purse on the swordsman Astartes. When you told me how he feared the local crowds, I knew in my belly how the duel would end. With the crowd roaring and putting the fear of the gods in him, he'd be bound to find the strength to beat his foe. Truth is, I'm from these parts myself, so I was happy to put my coins in our local lad. No more debtor's prison for me. Fair befall you, friend. I'm mighty grateful to you. What's that you say? Well, the lad's father was a swordsman, was he? Sad tale when a man's felled and leaves a young widow and her son to fend for themselves. Suppose the lad saw his father in me, us both being men of the sword. Starting to think that mayhap I treated the lad overly rough. He needed a father and reckoned there could be me. Maybe he weren't wrong at that. Oh lad, where are you playing at? Sir? Come here, lad. Out of them shadows and into the sun where I can see you. So you will teach me fencing? Look, you've got a better thing to teach you. Horse riding. What say you to that, then? I'd rather learn fencing if it's all the same. Sounds but you're a stubborn one. I'll teach you horses or I teach you nothing. You got that? If you say so, sir. I just got a dumb image in my head of the kid swinging a horse around like a sword. Okay, so there's one in this town that we haven't done yet. Into thin air. Let's see what we need to do for it. Head to the Forest of No Return dungeon and defeat the boss. Forest of No Return. I just saw it over there. I think it was like a level 48 dungeon. Yeah, that's why he was like, teach me the swords. Like, I'll teach you horses or I'll teach you nothing. I just imagine the kid like grabbing a horse and swinging it around like a sword. So this we'll be doing later. So this side quest can wait. But we did have a couple of other ones that we needed to get to Victor's Hollow to finish. I think was left behind. Corpse with No Name, I think, were the two. Let's see what I have to do for those. So I have to guide the restless woman from Victor's Hollow back to where the corpse was. I think it was by Saints Bridge. Other one was left behind. I have to guide the amnesiac in Victor's Hollow to the former sailor in Goldshore. That's going to be 2 trips. I have to guide people. That one's like a level 35 dungeon, I remember that much. In Search of Father 2, what was that one? Alright, that one I need to get to Grand Port. That's probably going to be way later in the... Price of Vengeance, I need to get to Dust Barrow, also later in the game. City of Gold, that's another one. Alright, so 2 trips, we have to guide people.
Hello.
So I need to find the people that I'm supposed to guide, first of all.
The fact.
How now?
Oh.
Hello.
Greetings.
Good day. Oh.
Okay. That sucks. Because I'm gonna have to guide that. I'm gonna have to guide him with Primrose, and she's probably gonna have a low chance to do it, which means I'm gonna have to save scum it. And not only that, but that also means she's gonna lose the high-level character that she is. let's do this one first. Oh, is that... You know this person, milady? Because he watched the show with nothing to say who he was. Would you be so good as to look at his face, just to be sure? It's him, my husband Hugo. I knew it as soon as I saw the mole on his hand. I'd steeled myself to expect the worst, but to see him like this... I'm sorry for your loss, milady. 'Tis a sad end for sure. But at least he'll have his wife to bear witness when he's laid to rest. There's many that fetch up on shore here who go to ground with far less. Yes, 'tis better that I see him one last time than to never know his fate at all. I like how they've changed their language over time. It used to be, do you want to be famous? You can pause these. Now it's like, you will be famous. They're getting very confident that you're going to pay for their services. First try, not bad. Oh, guess not.
Eyeing me.
Captain, is that really you, Captain? Captain? Who are you, lad? Have you forgotten me? I sailed under you half my life. Sailed under me? That's right, on the Blue Wave. Don't you remember it all? The Blue Wave. Yes, I think I do recall something. It was my ship. I was the captain of the Blue Wave. That's right, sir. I've been searching for you for years. Sorry, lad. Until this very moment, I had no idea who I was in the world. So that's what happened. It's no wonder I had such a hard time finding word of you. I've been waiting here in this town since we lost you, believing that you must still be alive somewhere. Never give up the ghost that easy. So what do you say to you, me, and the high seas once again? Aye, aye, sir. Once word gets around that you're alive and men in a ship, I'm sure the old crew will all come flocking back to you. That sounds a real treat. I wouldn't say no to more journeys like we used to have. We did have a fine time out there in the wide open sea, didn't we? Damn, I was hoping it was another one of these. But that's Elemental Augmenter, not Elemental Ward. Oh man, eyes itch like crazy. Something's messing with my allergies. He's the same power level as the one I had to give up to get him anyway, so I might as well take him with me. Alright, so I think we're good in this town. I don't know that we'll have time to finish it, but we can start Ulbrich's last chapter. What, Jigs? What do you want? What's going on? Where is the inn? Could probably also check what the weapon store has. I don't think I've done that yet. We'll probably only have enough time to get through like the opening of his chapter, and we'll have to finish it tomorrow. Okay. I'm not sure where I play into this. Yeah, it is. And that's what I'm saying. We'll probably just start Ulbricht's chapter, see like the opening storyline to it, and then stop when we get to the point where we're about to enter the dungeon. And then tomorrow we'll do the dungeon and finish it off. Ulbricht had set out on a new journey. His quest was to find something he had lost, the very reason for which he wielded his blade. To find an answer, he would find his former comrade, Earhart, the man who had betrayed their liege lord and king. According to the brigand leader Gaston, there is a man in Victor's Hollow who knew Earhart. Mayhap he can tell Ulbricht where Earhart has gone. Gustav is the man's name. They call him the Black Knight. Will Ulbricht find him here, in this town of warriors? Long time since I've seen such crowds.
Welcome, welcome.
Oh there, traveler. I trust ye know of our arena.
Yep.
Of course I do. Townsfolk here don't ever shut up about it. Anyway, it's why I've come, to see it in the grandest tourney of the year.
Yes.
Right ye are, me friend, right ye are. Ain't no better time to visit. We got warriors from every corner of the world willing to risk life and limb for the ultimate honor. Only 8 champions remain. Now the preliminary battle's been fought. Of them, I say there's 4 you'll be wanting to keep an eye on. The reigning champion is Archibald, the Crusher we call him, and 4 times in a row he's claimed the prize. Joshua hails from the icy wastes of the north. They say his art's as cold as his blade. Then there's Wallace Wildsword, the man who reached the final battle last year only to fall to Archibald. And there's one more you should know. Gustav, the man they call the Black Knight.
What?
Did he say Gustav?
Yes.
That's right. A newcomer he is, but he's proven he's worth best in every foe he's faced such far. There's many who say he might be the one to finally topple the Crusher. So is this chapter 2 going to be a tournament arc? We got a reigning king, a stranger huge usurpers thrown in 6 more challengers, each as formidable as the next. You don't want to be messing this tourney or you'll regret it till your dying day.
Well,
Tell me something.
Of course.
Ask your question, I'm here to help.
the truth is,
Where can I find this Gustav? There's something I must ask him. Finding him is easy. Just buy a ticket for the tourney and he'll be there in all his glory. As for talking, that's up to him, ain't it?
thank you.
I see. Thank you. So I can find Gustav at the arena, but how do I convince him to talk to me? There's a man who looks like he can swing a sword. He could just be the one I need.
A home.
So that is the famous Victor's Hollow Arena. You have heard of it? Ah yes, the histories say that it was first built as a penal circus where prisoners were made to fight to the death. A cruel practice. Quite, but people eventually wearied of watching men die for sport, and the fights became more humane, less deadly. Forced duels between prisoners were banned, only free men and volunteers could fight. Now the arena is where men come to test their mettle and win glory for themselves. Tell me, Ulbrich, what do you think of this present-day arena? It is honorable, far better than forcing poor wretches to kill or be killed. It is still a blood sport, but fought between free men who can choose not to if that is their will.
Oi, Knight.
A fighter, quick with the blade, ill will in his eyes. State your business, and if it's violence you seek, know that you shall have it.
Looks of him. He knows how to use that blade. Reckon he'd be more than a match for me, even if I were at full strength.
Thought you'd agree. My eyes never steered me wrong yet. My apologies for the dramatics, but I wanted Ned here to take the measure of you. He'd be fighting in the tourney if it weren't for his wounds.
If you have business with me, then state it plain.
Cecily, at your service. I'm what you'd call a promoter of sorts.
And what is it you promote?
Arena battles, mostly. And the men who fight them. Except Cecily here's done neither yet. Still looking for a big break, she is.
Stay your tongue, Ned. I do the talking, remember? You want to meet the man Gustav, yes?
You were there when I spoke to the Barker.
That's right. And I'll tell you something he didn't. Tourney fighters don't make a habit of fraternizing with the hoi polloi. If you and he were old friends, that'd be one thing. But something tells me he's not expecting your visit.
Do you have a point?
I have advice. If you want to talk to Gustav, your best play would be to fight in the tourney yourself.
But how? The preliminary rounds are already over, or so I heard.
See? This is why you need me. I know a way you can get around that.
Then tell me.
Simply prove that you're a better fighter than one of the remaining champions, and make sure everyone sees it. During the tourney, local authorities turn a blind eye to public dueling. It's still against the law, mind you, but No one gets in trouble for it. Lots of men come here fancying themselves good with a blade, and they look to prove it, whether they qualify for the tourney or no.
But surely, those who have qualified are above getting involved in petty brawls.
They're here to prove themselves, same as everyone. If the circumstances are right, they can no more shirk a challenge outside the arena than in it.
I'm telling you, this is your ticket to the tourney. Get the attention of one of the champions and make them challenge you. Put them in a position where they've no choice but to prove they're your better with a blade.
And what do you get out of all of this?
When you do get into the tourney, you'll fight under my colors. If you reach the final battle, I'll have fighters lining up to put their seal on a contract with me.
Ah, a deal where we both benefit.
Is there a better kind? I'll get my scribe to draw up the contract. What name will you use?
My own. Ulberich Eisenberg.
Eisenberg? The unbending blade of Hornburg himself?
A fine figure, and famous too. Told you I could pick 'em, Ned. Well, my lordship, I think this partnership is going to work out handsomely.
Well now, which of these hot-blooded types would be up for a duel?
You there!
Looking to pick a fight, you come to the right place. Aye, a fight with this one is sure to raise some eyebrows.
Pshaw.
I won't be living for long. What was it about? Spears and arrows.
Let us fight with honor. Now then. The battle is truly joined. Now then. Now then. My blade is unbending. I wreak havoc upon thee. With each battle, I grow stronger.
The hell?
Never fought no one stronger than me. Fixing for trouble, old man, because I got plenty to give the likes of you.
Prepare yourself.
Aye, fight with this one is sure to raise some eyebrows.
All right.
Devil take you, you bit off more than you know.
Let us fight with honor. The battle is true. Have at you. Ha! upon me! With each battle, I grow stronger. Eyeing me.
Get me out of here. Come now, is that all? Is there none among you who can best my fighter? His name is Ulrich Eisenberg, one of the twin blades from the once proud realm of Hornburg. Come, don't cower in the crowds, or have you not the courage to face the unbending blade? The unbending blade?
Truly?
Could it truly be? Ulrich Eisenberg still lives? Eisenberg, is he supposed to be famous or something? Are you daft, woman? Everyone's heard of the unbending blade.
Huh?
It's so great, why ain't he fighting in the tourney? How long will this take? I've fought all comers. You're not quitting on me now, are you?
No.
But I like it not when my fate is in another's hand.
Uh-oh.
Cuts me, it's Victorino.
Huh?
The bounty hound. He who collected coin for the heads of 7 ill-famed buccaneers.
Ho ho!
At last, a man who wears his blade like he knows how to use it.
Oi!
Give him space, lads. There's a tourney champion.
Whoa!
The Buccaneer Bane, no less. 10 leaves. I got 10 leaves on him. Who'll match it?
Truly?
She's speaking the truth. Are you the unbending blade? When a name reaches me on the high seas, I reckon the man who wears it done something to earn it.
Well,
You're one of the tourney champions.
Just so.
Aye, Victorino's the name. I watched you fight the others. And I started wondering to myself, could he be better than me? And once that question came, had no choice but to find myself an answer.
Now then.
Wait. We'll need witnesses. A bigger crowd. The plaza. Fight your battle there.
That's right.
I'm willing. The bigger the crowd, the bigger the stakes. I'll see you there, knight. And it is now quitting time, and that seems like an appropriate cliffhanger to leave off on. Where is the save point? Oh, I was right by it. So yeah, we'll go ahead and leave off here, and then tomorrow we'll finish off Ulbricht's. So, unfortunately the stream title today was slightly off. I didn't quite finish all the chapter 2s. But we will tomorrow, and then we've got... because there's 2 optional dungeons that are level 30. I'm looking at all the chapter 3s to see what level they all are. Looks like 32 is the lowest. So yeah, we'll finish off Ulbricht's and we'll do the 2 optional level 30 dungeons. And then I guess, unless Ulbricht's ends up being 32 also, we'll probably end up doing Alphins right after that. And honestly, the chapter 3 should go by faster. There's still going to be some optional dungeons like I'm going to be doing in the middle of all of them, since they seem to go up to level 40. But it looks like all of them take place in the same set of towns that we've already been in. So that does cut out some of the time, and that we won't have to be doing the usual ransacking, thieving, interrogating of the town that we have been every time we go to a new town for the chapter 2s. So at least that part will be sped up. We'll just be doing the chapters and the optional dungeons as they show up, in order. Which Damn, I already closed it. Let's see how many there are. I did count them up. And so far from what I've seen, it looks like level 40 is the highest level for a chapter 3. So we'll have 230s, a 34, 235s, and then a 40, which I guess we can do the 40 after we do the character chapters. So 8 chapter 3s and 5 optional dungeons, but with no actual having to do a bunch of stuff around town or side quests or anything. There's still a couple of outstanding side quests, but I think most of those need me to reach a chapter 4 town. So, yeah, that'll be what we start working on tomorrow. So that'll be tomorrow, same time, 2 a.m. Central Standard Time. Check schedule below for what time that is in your area. So let me give callouts, and then I'll go ahead and end for today. So Samato, Jigs, Irby, Hideru, Ragna, Lost, Wabon, Nami. Thank you all for coming in and chatting with me while I play. And thank you to anybody else who may have been lurking and watching. It's always appreciated. As I said, we'll continue this tomorrow, and we'll actually finish up the chapter 2s and start moving past them. And yeah, I think we've almost made it to the halfway point in the game. Because everybody has 4 chapters. But I mean, obviously there's still the post-game boss. I don't know how long it'll take to get to, or like if it's a dungeon in and of itself or what. I don't know how much the post-game consists of. I haven't looked at it yet. But I think very soon we will be getting to the halfway point of the game. Of which right now, yeah, we're at like, this is day 10. So this is definitely going to be like probably going to be an 80+ hour game if we're starting to get towards the halfway point. But anyway, let me see if I can find someone to raid. Actually, let's go ahead and raid Irby. Looks like he's playing Temtem, which I believe is the indie Pokemon game. So, as per usual, let's go ahead and jump in, say hi, hope to see you all next time, and until then.
Bye-bye, everybody!
It's a Pokemon-like game. I gotta find an HDMI cable real quick. I forgot. I'm using my